Hello students, how are you? I hope you are writing your assignments and case scenarios given to you. Okay. So today we will have one more session, that is critical care nursing. Already you have this in the seminar, but we have just a review of critical care nursing. See, this is because a big unit for you. I have divided this into three parts. So the first part we will see today. Critical care nursing. What is critical care nursing? First of all, it is nothing but an intensive care unit. The care that is provided in the intensive care unit. And what is intensive care unit? It is not merely a room or series of rooms filled with patients attached to interventional technology. It is the home of an organization, that is the intensive care team. Then who are the people who comprises of intensive care team? It consists of doctors, nurses, therapists, nutritionists, chaplains and other support staff, builds an environment for healing or healing or dying. Next, what is critical care nursing? It is that specialty within nursing that deals specifically with human responses to life-threatening problems or critical care problems. Next, 7 C's of critical care are, we have to remember these principles when we are dealing with the patient in critical care unit or critical care nursing. That is compassion. You should treat the cases or provide care to the patient with compassion. That means with affection or with therapeutic relationship. And communication, you should have a good communication or relationship with the patient and his family. Next is consideration to patients, relatives and colleagues and avoidance of any occurrence of any conflicts or misunderstandings. Comfort, provision of comfort, prevention of suffering is very important principle. Then carefulness, avoidance of injury to the patient. Then consistency. Consistency means you should provide care continuously and you should not stop the care abruptly until the patient recovers. Next is the closure. You should maintain certain ethics when you are dealing with the patient. See, when nothing should be hidden from the patient or his relatives. Everything what you are going to do with the patient, you should be explaining and take permission. Next is, who is a critical care nurse? Critical care nurse is a licensed professional nurse who is responsible for ensuring that acutely and critically ill patients and their families receive optimal care. Optimal care. Appropriate care and sufficient care must be provided by the critical care nurse. Then what is critical care unit? It is a specially designed and equipped facility staffed by skilled personnel to provide effective and safe care for dependent patients with a life-threatening problems. Next, the aim of the critical care. What is the aim of the critical care? It is to see that one provides the care such that patient improves and survives the acute illness or tides over the acute exacerbation of the chronic illness. Next, how this evolution of critical care has taken place from the previous days. 40 years of development in critical care and critical care nursing has given rise to recognized specialty in nursing practice. And critical care units have evolved over the last 4 decades in response to medical advances. Then coming to the historical perspectives. See, from the time of Florence Nightingale, they have recognized the need to consider the severity of illness in bed allocation of patients and place the seriously ill patients near the nurse's station. See, when she was providing care to the people with who have injured in the Crimean War, she kept those patients who are very acutely ill by the side of her, and those patients who are stable, she kept the patients just away from the nurses where she actually sitting or staying. In 1923, John Hopkins University Hospital developed a special care unit for neurosurgical patients. and modern medicines boomed to its higher ladder after the World War II. So these are the pictures which you see during how the previous days patients were treated, the equipment in the critical care unit. These are the how the nurse is checking temperature of the patient. You can see how the patient is lying down. This is our equipment, resuscitating equipment which are attached, or the monitors which have attached to the patient. Okay. Then as surgical techniques advanced, it became necessary that post-operative patient required careful monitoring, and this came about the recovery room. In 1950, the epidemic of poliomyelitis necessitated thousands of patients requiring respiratory assist devices and intensive nursing care. At the same time, newer horizons in cardiothoracic surgery with refinements in intraoperative membrane oxygen techniques have come up. Then in 1953, Manchester Memorial Hospital opened a 4-bedded unit as Philadelphia was started. During 1957, there were 20 units in USA which are providing critical care, and in 1958 the number increased to 150. Then the expansion of American hospital system and hospital insurance has come up. Architectural hospital changes towards private and semi-private accommodations have been risen, and reallocations for direct patient care responsibility and creations of new forms of care. And during 1970s, the term critical care unit came into existence, which covers all types of special care. Then two types of intensive care units have been identified: an open intensive care unit and a closed intensive care unit. In an open intensive care unit, physicians admit, treat and discharge the patients, and in a closed type of ICU, the admission, discharge and referral policies are under the control of intensivists. Then ICUs can be classified as level 1, level 2 and level 3. In level 1 intensive care unit, this can be called as high dependency, where the patient needs close monitoring, resuscitation and short-term ventilation, which the patient requires care. This care may be less than 24 hours, which has to be performed. And in level 2, can be located in general hospital, undertake more prolonged ventilation, must have resident doctors, nurses, access to pathology, radiology, etc. And in level 3, located in a major tertiary hospital, which is a referral hospital, it should provide all aspects of intensive care unit just as our government general hospital. Okay, and you know very well that the staffing large hospital requires a large team members, because the number of beds, as per the number of beds in the intensive care unit, the nurse patient ratio will be 1:1. That is why if the hospital is large, then patient more number of beds may be created in intensive care unit, and more number of staff nurses may be available. Then coming to the medical staff, and career intensivists are the best senior medical staff to be appointed in the intensive care unit, and that person will be the acting as the director, and the less preferred other specialists are anesthesia, medicine and chest, who have clinical commitment elsewhere. And junior staff are intensive care trainees and trainees on deputation from other disciplines. Sometimes they may, if the hospital is a corporate hospital, then they can recruit as much staff they need. Then coming to the nursing staff, the major teaching tertiary care intensive care unit will require trained nurses in critical care. So the nursing staff who are working in the tertiary care or referral hospitals, referral hospitals like GGH, the nurses who are working in intensive care unit, they require certain training or specialized skills in order to provide care to the patients. It may be ideal to have an in-house training program for critical care nursing. The number of nurses ideally required for such units is 1:1 ratio, as I have already told you, and in complex situations they may require 2 nurses per patient. The number of trained nurses should also be worked out by the type of intensive care unit, the workload and work statistics and type of patient load. Then unit director, his specific requirements for the unit director include training, interest and time availability to give clinical, administrative and educational direction to the intensive care unit, and board certification in critical care medicine must be, that person who is acting as a director must possess this qualifications, and he should have time and commitment to maintain active and regular involvement in the care of patients in the unit. Then availability, he should be available to the unit 24 hours a day and 7 days of a week for both clinical and administrative matters. Active involvement in local or national critical care societies. Then participation in continuing education programs in the field of critical care medicine, hospital privileges to perform relevant invasive procedures, active involvement as an advisor and participant in organizing care of the critically ill patient in the community as a whole, and active participation in the education of unit staff. That is why he need to send all the staff periodically for education or training purpose, and active participation in the review of the appropriate use of ICU resources in the hospital. Okay, all these are the must be possessed by a director, right? Director of intensive care unit. And who is a nurse manager? A registered nurse with a BSc nursing degree or preferably Masters of Science in Nursing degree and certification in critical care or equivalent graduation education. At least 2 years experience working in a critical care unit must be there, and experience with health information systems, quality improvement, risk management activities and healthcare economics. Ability to ensure that critical care nursing practice meets appropriate standards. Preparation to participate in the on-site education of critical care unit nursing staff. Then ability to foster a cooperative atmosphere with regard to the training of nurses, physicians, pharmacists, respiratory therapists and other personnel involved in the critical care unit patients, and regular participation in ongoing continuing nursing education programs. Knowledge about current advances in the field of critical care nursing she should possess, and she should participate in strategic planning and redesign efforts also. Then she can act as a nurse manager. And what is critical care unit nursing requirements? All patient care is carried out directly by or under supervision of a trained critical care nurse. All nurses working in critical care should complete a clinical or didactic critical care course before assuming full responsibility for the patient care. Unit orientation is required before assuming responsibility for patient care. Nurse to patient ratios should be based on patient acuity according to written hospital policies. Then all critical care nurses must participate in continuing education program. An appropriate number of nurses should be trained in the highly specialized techniques such as renal transplant therapy, intra-aortic balloon pump monitoring and intracranial pressure monitoring. This is very important in case of critical care unit, and all nurses should be familiar with the indications for and complications of renal replacement therapy. Then respiratory care personnel requirements. Who are the people and what does they require? Respiratory care person who are working in the intensive care unit. Respiratory care services should be available 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. An appropriate number of respiratory therapists with specialized training must be available to the unit at all times. Ideal levels of staffing should be based on acuity using objective measure whenever possible, and the therapist must undergo orientation to the unit before providing care to the ICU patients, or if they are newly appointed, then they need a complete orientation of the unit. Then the therapist must have expertise in the use of mechanical ventilators, including the various ventilatory modes. Already what are the different types of ventilators and what are the different modes of ventilators we have seen, and the proficiency in the transport of critical ill patients is very much required. And respiratory therapist should participate in continuing education and quality improvement related to their unit activities. And also he need to see that all the people, all the personnel or the healthcare team members who are working in intensive care unit must have continuing education programs, or they must participate. He should see that she should see that they participate in the continuing education classes. Then ideally a 24-hour in-house coverage should be provided by intensivists who are dedicated to the care of ICU patients and do not have any conflicting responsibilities. Ideally, intensivist to patient ratios vary from ICU to ICU depending on the hospital's unique patient population. Hospitals should have guidelines for these ratios based on acuity, complexity and safety considerations. And the various subspecialties should be available and must be able to provide bedside patient care within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes of their phone call or calling them, they should be able to present and provide different specialists, subspecialties like general surgeon or trauma surgeon, neurosurgeon, cardiovascular surgeon, obstetric and gynecological surgeon, and urologist, thoracic surgeon, vascular surgeon, anesthesiologist, cardiologist with interventional capabilities, and pulmonologist. And gastroenterologist, hematologist, infectious disease specialist, nephrologist, nephroradiologist who can do the interventional capability, pathologist, radiologist, neurologist, orthopedic surgeon. Okay, so these are the therapists, different therapies and their functions. Physiotherapists, they prevent and treat chest problems, assist mobilization and prevent contractures in immobilized patients. And pharmacists, they advise on potential drug interactions and side effects and drug dosing in patients with liver or renal dysfunction. And dietitians advise on nutritional requirements and feeds. Microbiologists advise on treatment and infection control. And medical physics technicians maintain equipment including patient monitors, ventilators, hemofiltration machines and blood gas analyzers. Okay, these are the functions of different personnel working in intensive care. And who are the other personnel like unit clerks, physical therapists, occupational therapists, advanced practice nurses, physician assistants, dietary specialists and biomedical engineers. Okay, these are the different people who need to work in intensive care unit. And regarding other aspects we will have in next tutorial.